Hello everybody, boys, girls, lords, ladies, gentlemen, everybody out there. Welcome to the Nick Dutch Tarot Show. On this particular YouTube channel, as I'm sure you've guessed, I do tarot readings, and this is part of quite a long line, quite a long series that I've been doing, and I've been trying to get this out each and every single week. Just a very quick word to those people across the pond in the United States of America. I'd like to take this opportunity to personally wish you a very happy Thanksgiving, and may this season bring you, great times with your family, great times with your friends, times for celebration, eating as much turkey as your stomach will allow, but don't get indigestion. And, just have yourself a great time. We in the UK, we're gearing up for Christmas. All the shops are full of Christmas stuff right now, and there's that buzzy feeling in the atmosphere. So there's always something pretty cool about the run up to Christmas. Always a bit of a letdown when January the 2nd comes, but never mind. We'll not worried about that until the time comes. Now, I'm planning on doing a couple of shows for Christmas and New Year. So, if you've got any tarot reading requests that you want to put forward for that part of the year, just keep them going through the through the system, and bear in mind that I might be able to get that request. If I don't get it in any of the shows on the run up to Christmas and New Year, then I may actually be able to get it in the Christmas and New Year shows as well. So bear that in mind, alright? Don't give me like tons and tons of pages of text, okay? Just give me a relatively short, relatively concise. Also include your first name and date of birth, because that obviously helps, okay? There are some questions which I won't do. I won't do issues relating to pregnancy, medical matters, childbirth, or legal issues, okay? These are, there's reasons for this. One of my agendas in trying to show you my performance style through this particular medium is so you can just get a bit of a feeling as to what it might be like if you were to get on the phone and call me, or contact me on the chat. I'm on Keen.com, I'm on liveperson.com, and I also work through a number of key and well respected sites here in the UK for telephone, email and SMS. So you can just go on the internet and search for Nick Dutch or Nick Dutch Tarot Reader, and eventually you will probably come across me at some point. So obviously I look forward to hearing from those of you who want to go ahead with a commercial reading, but it's much more important, and much more important, that you yourself enjoy the show, because this is coming out to you as a form of entertainment. So just enjoy it. There's lots of reasons to subscribe, okay? You can subscribe because you just enjoy once a week seeing a nearly middle-aged man like myself doing tarot. Or you can subscribe because you're interested in other people's lives, or maybe there's something else about other people's questions which somehow resonates with yourself. So you can use this as that time, away from family or, friendship difficulties or relationship difficulties, away from the workplace, and just sit down, relax, take a bit of time for yourself, and just to see what kind of thoughts this can stimulate for you, okay? So do subscribe anyway, even if you don't request a reading. If you do want to request a proper reading, then do subscribe, and I'll be happy to add you to the rota. All requests, and I must stress this, must not be via video response, must not be in the comment section, and must be via private message on this YouTube channel, which is Nick Dutch Tarot. Now I know this is being broadcast on a few other sites, such as Blip.tv and VodPod and a few others. But essentially, if you can bring yourself to this YouTube channel, Nick Dutch Tarot, all one word, all lowercase, then essentially you'll be able to send a private message through if you've got a YouTube account, and I'll be able to add you to the rota, and you yourself will appear, well, or at least your inquiry will appear in the tarot show itself, okay? So now you know what to do. We'll crack on with the first reading of today. Just a second. Okay, Debbie's come back one more time, and she wants to know whether there's anything to be worried about. Alright, she's got a new landlord, there's been a few difficulties there, and she just wants to make sure that, he can be trusted, and the relationship between herself and her landlord can actually work out according to plan. So, here we go. Starting again with the Thoth Tarot. I've already been shuffling quite like a lunatic whilst I was talking to you during the introduction of this video, and I'm just going to make it even more random. Alright, now it's quite an interesting reading. The sensations, thoughts and feelings which are coming through to me, generally speaking, not looking too bad. Now as far as the meanings of the cards are concerned, As I'm sure you now know, I tend to have a quick look at the colours, and the colours essentially are actually quite joyful, quite jubilant. I think you've settled in quite a good environment. Now, the fact we've got the Lust card of the Major Arcana there, that can be good or it can be difficult, because it can be talking about desire, but it can also be talking about not quite achieving your desires. But on the other hand, it's only a feeling of slight frustrations. There may be a few annoying things around you in the here and now. You know, those little things which appear once in a while, which can create a feeling of anxiety and all the rest of that. But essentially, is that anything to be worried about? Well, no, because I just see that as being the normal process of life. We're all worried about paying our bills on time, we're all worried about working hard to maintain our financial stability, and we're also all concerned about making sure we're getting on well with our friends and our family. Now, on your social side of things, the fact that we've got like the Nine of Cups coming out here, okay, it did come out reversed, so I think that's talking about you're already in a position of anxiety. It's coming out suggesting that things are going to slowly improve. Since you've moved to the new place, there's going to be a few changes around you. There's going to be a feeling of, I think I've started to settle down. I'm seeing you starting to build a rhythm, build a routine, build a pattern that you can actually feel comfortable with. We got the Ace of Discs there, often talking about stability, familiarity. Although it's a new place for you, that feeling of familiarity and being a part of the community is going to start developing for you pretty damn soon. So I'm not too worried about that whatsoever. Now, the progress here is being demonstrated in the form of the Prince of Swords and the Sun card. The Prince of Swords itself can speak about conflict, but on the other hand, if you just move to a new place, of course you're going to feel like there's a sense of conflict around you. It'll be a feeling of some anxiety here or there. But on the other hand, it's not the main or the most salient cards we've got there. The most salient ones are the Sun card, which is speaking about a sense of the development of joy, and of course the Lust card. So I feel that the conflict signs that we had in the Prince of Swords, as well as the sense from the Lust card, is probably just a short-term future thing. And I mean very short-term future, because that's just a feeling of anxiety which will start to disappear as the stability, as mentioned by the Ace of Coins there, and the happiness mentioned by the Nine of Cups, is going to start developing with you. So something inside you is trying to look out for the next big bad thing. Could this be because so many bad things have happened in the past? Are you now jumping to the conclusion that it's got to be bad? You know, whatever's going to happen out there, it's got to be bad. Now, I'm just not seeing that here. I'm just not seeing that happening in reality. I mean, it may be one of your assessments of what things are like in the outside world, but that's based upon past experience. But past experience is not present occurrences, is it now? Okay? So, you're basing it upon what I consider to be potentially the wrong information. And taking that into account is something I think you really need to bear in mind. The situation you're in now is not the situation you used to be in. Okay? Okay, Phositis, I think is the pronunciation of the YouTube channel name. Now, this is an individual who's 15. I will caution you now that as far as a commercial reading was concerned, I most certainly would not take your inquiry. But as this is a free reading I'm doing for you, I feel it should be appropriate and acceptable and legal for me to do the reading for you. That's the way I understand the various guidelines that I'm under. Okay. What I will say is that it's best for you to carry on thinking for yourself. Contacting readers or reading books on spirituality, they can be good guides at times, but essentially they certainly shouldn't be there to take away your free will and your ability to choose for yourself. So for the moment, just see this as an opportunity to search for some inspiration, and don't see it as being something which controls you, because otherwise that would just be bad. You're the one who's in control of your life, not me. Alright, and that goes for all of you out there. You've got to trust yourself first, and your reader second. If you can do that, then everything will be fine. But I'll have a quick look for you anyway, and I'll just see what kind of thoughts, feelings, moods, energies, and all the rest of that are appearing here for you today. Okay, basing this very loosely upon the Celtic Cross spread, okay? I'm sure you've seen me do one of those before if you've been following my videos. Right. Okay, reflection upon the past, signs of strife, the Five of Staves, which is talking about literally strife, but also a sense of planning and preparation for the future. You've had some very strong goals you've wanted to manifest, and there's some very strong things you wanted to achieve for yourself and for other people. You have a very good and a very strong heart. The signs I've got for your character and your personality around you in the here and now, that's interesting and intriguing, because there's a dramatic conflict of tensions, not a sense of conflict inside yourself, but a conflict of tensions, two emotions at once, ambivalence, okay? On one side of things, we've got youthful enthusiasm coming through in the victory card, the Six of Staves, but we've also got the Nine of Swords talking about something of a more negative nature, such as a feeling of emotional cruelty. Could that be a sense of resentment, maybe? Resentment of some of the ways in which you feel you've been broken up or your life has been driven, or various other influences upon you. Some of that you're going to have to put aside, and inside your heart you're going to have to start forgiving people who've given you direction in various different ways, so that you can start to move further forward with your life, because otherwise you're seriously not going to be happy. And you know, if you can just dump that negative emotion at this time in your life, or start eroding it at least through the emotion of forgiveness, that can actually start to help. But you still got to use it rationally, okay? I mean, if someone is seriously messing around with you right now, sometimes you have to deal with that appropriately, without saying, oh, it's alright, I forgive you, and coming over too wishy-washy. You know, you still need to communicate through your behaviour, through your speech and all the rest of that, so that you can protect yourself. So don't get the message confused there. You don't have to be a soft, fluffy, wishy-washy person. If someone is threatening my family, I'm going to have a go at them, alright? You know, I'm a very forgiving individual, but if someone has a go at my family, I'm going to have a go at them, because that's essentially the way that you defend yourself, you defend your family, and all the rest of that, okay? So just get the perspective right. The whole forgiveness thing is something you do in your heart, so you don't completely mess up when you're dealing with people in the future. So get that nice, clear and straight. Now, as far as your conscious awareness and subconscious awareness is concerned, right, okay, conscious awareness, fun, recreation, wanting to be with people and to be the life and soul of the party and having some great times, but also a slight sense of instability associated with that, which seems to be connected with the knowledge you've got responsibilities. So you're in two states of mind again, because on one side of things, you know, hey, I'm 15, I want to have fun, you know, I want to go out, I want to go out and be a man, you know what I mean? But on the other hand, there's a sense of, you know, well, what about the future? You know, what's that going to bring? My recommendation to you would be to try and focus on the responsibility side of things, because that's, for you at your time of life, more important. You still need social experiences, you still need to go out and all the rest of it, because that helps to make you a more rounded character. But you've also got to know your limits, and it's up to you to tell you what your limits are on the basis of your own experience, not necessarily on the basis of what other people say. Okay, so this is why you're in a very confused time of life, because you've got so many forces acting against you. I mean, you know, grown adults of my age, I'm more than twice your age now, okay? We still have like lots of different forces acting on us and messages and all the rest of that, which can confuse us. But in your time of life, you got more things to gain whilst you're young, so that you can actually have a stable future, alright? So don't, you know, get the balance right. And chill out. You don't have to take all this stuff too seriously, okay? Alright, progression into the future. Action, determination, taking control. Very positive, okay? So I think that you are going to move towards, it's not just a question of responsibility, but your responsibilities to yourself, okay? So look after yourself. You're going to be fine. Progression, short-term, mid-term, long-term, future. Short-term, hard decision-making. I don't think that that's just covering the next 3 months. I think that's covering the next, like, 3 to 5 years. But on the other hand, it's still not coming out as a negative thing, it's coming out as a positive thing. You got to watch out for this though, okay? Knowing what the right thing to do is and not doing it. Sometimes that can be out of fear or out of anxiety, or maybe a sense of, you know, it's going to be bad for me if I try and do something which deep in my heart I know is right. Well, that's when you got to do contemplation, introspection, and try and work out what is the next right thing to do, and then do the next right thing, and that's in like nearly every area of your life. Alright? Longer term, the very long term future is absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. When the star card comes out, we always see that as a good sign. I mean, you must be thinking about your career, your family, your relationships, how things are going to work out in the future, which is of course going to be totally hot, alright? Because that's what the long term future signs are saying. Your unexpected signs is talking about your spirituality, which is what you're also asking about. Now, the main message I would say about this is, well, it is positive. but it's also talking about you finding yourself and finding out what you want to be and how you want to be able to interact with other people and behave with other people. It's a very in-depth growing spirituality. You will find your own. You don't have to find somebody else's. Okay? On with the next reading of today. Okay, Stephen Robert Minogue has got a couple of questions. The first one, quite simply, will Stephen find the right musicians for the band? This is good, because it's a different variety of question for me. It helps me to, flex the old psychic muscles and see what kind of things is coming through. Doing a very in-depth shuffling. You did request that I use the Crowley Thoth Tarot, so by pure synchronicity, I'm using that right now. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Now, the way I do things, I don't actually look at the emails until I've started the camera rolling. Alright, so that's rather spooky really, isn't it? Also pretty cool. Anyway, let's have a quick look and see. Mercurial signs and signs of change, also signs of Venusuvial nature, as well as a sense of building a mutual agreement between yourself and somebody else, which can be beneficial, which is coming out very strongly in the Four of Swords there. Sword cards are not always to do with conflict, they're often to do with communication. Now, when we got the Four of Swords, that's often regarded as being or standing for truce. But does that necessarily mean to say there was a conflict? No, you're not talking about a conflict situation, are you now? This is a question of finding the right person who can be beneficial to the band in the longer term future. And that's why we got signs of change associated with money, associated with earnings, and building up your reputation, moving on further on down the line, so that you can really start doing well for yourself. It is a financial sign, but it's also a sign of transformation on a very deep level. So you're taking the band entity and turning it into something which is better and something that you yourself would approve of, which I think is what the Empress there is trying to teach me. Now, as far as, are you going to move? Well, obviously you've got to make that decision yourself and base it on money and revenue, because that's the most important thing. You can't base it on, oh, I'd love to move, you just can't do that. Just like I can't go out tomorrow and buy myself a Lamborghini. Alright? You just got to think about it, you got to plan it. Even if I did buy a Lamborghini, when would I use it? I work from home, I don't go out much, I don't have the style of life for a Lamborghini. So you got to think carefully about whether moving right now is actually like the most red hot thing that you can do, or whether you need to just chill out, claw the money back and build things up. Now, if you're not in a position to buy yourself a new pack of tarot cards, are you in a position to buy yourself a house? As far as moving to another form of rental accommodation, that could save you some money if you were to go to a lower rent area, but on the other hand, would you enjoy it? There's too many things to think about there. Now, as far as my reading is saying, here we go. Signs of happiness, joy and contentment, as well as a sense of cooperation. I feel that you'll be staying where you are at the moment and learning to enjoy what you've got. And I think that's quite a positive message, but it's only there for the moment. The sensation I'm getting is that just around the corner the move will be coming. I'm seeing a time frame of 3 to 6 months when you will be able to consider doing this in a very good way that will actually work. And that's probably the best message on that subject I could give you today. Okay? And the final question that Stephen's asked is, will you find the right soulmate soon? Let's have a quick look. We'll do a chronological spread, slightly different kind of situation. And this is again looking very, very good. Now, I've shuffled the cards incredibly thoroughly since I did the last question. And again, the Star card has come out, but this time it's got the Magician card with it. Okay? Magician card, new beginnings. But it's not just a question of new beginnings, it's also a question of finally being ready. Have you reached a point in time in your life when you've been thinking about how you've been behaving and dealing with people? Have you reached a time in your life when you've been thinking about what you've gone through and the things that could have held you back in the past? Alright? A time is coming when you will be finally ready. We got the good old-fashioned Six of Coins there, talking about success, stability. It's often connected to financial success, so maybe things will pick up better for you financially, and then of course that will assist you in being able to develop the relationship that you actually want to be in, and that's correct for you at the moment. Finding the right quality of individual can be a very hard thing to do. Okay, lots of people screw it up. I've screwed it up in the past, okay, but we get to know people, we get to work things out, we get to change so that we can make sure things can work out for ourselves, and we become more selective about the quality of individual that suits our energy at the moment. I'm seeing something for you within the next 12 months at the very outside, definitely. Very strong signs, especially coming out here relating to joy. Okay, Mr. James 1235 wants me to have a quick look at his current relationship and wants to make sure there is some long-term potential. At the moment it's looking pretty hot. So that's obviously very, very good. But now we want to just try and see what the future could actually bring. Is there the opportunity to turn this into the good quality life partner connection? Alright, let's just have a quick look, shuffling like a lunatic as per usual. Here we go. Standard 8-card relationship reading. We've had quite a variety today already. We've had we had the Celtic Cross, we've had a few chronological spreads, we've had a couple of 3-card spreads. Now we're going back to the traditional 8-card relationship reading. Okay. Here we go. This one's good, but it's a relationship where there's going to be some growth required after a few months. How shall I put this? Okay, you're dealing with someone who's dealing with you very, very, very well, but I don't really see the depth of analysis there. I don't see this individual who you're with as feeling that they're a part of the connection, so you need to, butter them up or somehow make them feel that there's more good stuff going. You need to be more direct, you need to be more loving, okay, in a very overt way, in order to stop this person from being this kind of person who feels separated from reality and anxious and fearful. Because I feel that's what's happening underneath, okay? They're not showing you that aspect of their character, but after a few more months, it's going to come to the fore. And you're going to have to find a way of dealing with it. Yeah, in the here and now. 10 of Cups, looking totally wonderful, feeling of total satisfaction right now. But that's the here and now. This is what I would call, your soulmate stage of the relationship, when things, it's early, it's good, you feel great, but then, you get to know each other a bit better, you get to realize how complex and how deep the other individual really is, and then, you got to work with them, and that's responsibility of a different type, and we have to get used to those types of responsibility if we want relationships that will work out well. Now, on your side of things, stability, success, slightly defensive at times, but not looking too bad, strong desire to communicate. You've got a lot of investments in the way that things could work out later on. But, be careful with the way in which you communicate. This is someone who needs a lot of positive communication. Now, the reason I'm saying that there's, you should be a little more cautious later on down the line is because we got some signs here which aren't looking all that positive. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to, go belly up. I don't think it will. I think you've got very long-term potential, but I'm saying that there's going to be challenges in terms of the emotional background of the individual you're dealing with, and how to try and make things work out according to plan. Okay, that's why it's going to feel a little on the tricky side. But on the other hand, I still have some good feelings of success and achievement there, so long as you plan and prepare for difficult times. Maybe start reading more self-development books, work on other aspects of your own character and learn how to apply that to other people, okay? That's the best recommendation I could give right now. Okay, let's have a quick look at the next reading and take it from there just a second. Okay, 012 Tilly was a little skeptical, has had a reading via the tarot show, and she, 012 Tilly thought I was off whack. But now something has happened which has to change the situation. And so 012 Tilly is curious about a relationship situation which has started to develop. So we'll just have a quick look, we'll see what the reading says about this one particular relationship situation, and take it from there with the help of the Mystic Tarot. Diddly-dee. Here we go. God knows why I'm so buzzy today. I'm just feeling really rather good. Maybe I just slept well and I've been eating healthily and taking some exercise and all that stuff really helps. Who knows? Either way, let's have a quick look at the reading. Okay, building steadily and slowly, controlled. Not progressing too quickly, but also a sense of a desire to. So there's going to be some tension going on in the short-term future. On their side of things, very fun-driven, very foundation-building driven, and also very communication-driven. So that's looking very, very good. There is a feeling on both sides that there is a good like-heart bond, but on the other hand, it's still a question of how are you going to build this up to the point whereby you can both feel happy about investing your hearts properly and full time. And I think that's where the anxiety is in the here and now. Still wouldn't worry about that too much, because the future part of the reading is coming out very strong with your communication signs there, as well as a sense of there being more stability and a change towards a positive coming. And it's the second time we've had the two of coins coming in that particular position in a relationship reading. It's almost like there's like some massive changes happening in lots of people's lives right now. It's crazy. Okay, so let's just expand the reading and see what we can get for further on down the line. Very strong cup signs, talking about a luxuriant, loving emotion, feeling that everything is in the right place. Now, I don't think this feeling is going to come for you in the next 24 hours. It'll be a few months down the line from now. But essentially carry on building until you're up at that level and just see how it goes. Okay, because the feelings are actually looking quite good in the longer term future. So bear that in mind. It's not looking too bad. Carry on with what you've got right now and take it one step at a time. It feels good. Okay, that's all the readings we're going to do for the tarot show. I've still got a few more in the backlog, so essentially I'll be able to start the show quite quickly and easily next time. Okay, as is traditional, send your request through by private message through YouTube, Nick Dutch Tarot. Okay. And I'll be happy to add you to the rota. Look forward to the Christmas and New Year editions, which will be coming out not too far down the line. And if there's anything else you want me to talk about or discuss during my tarot show videos, then do let me know, and I'll be happy to consider it. I can't promise I'll do it, but I'll certainly be happy to consider it. And do remember, of course, that a tarot reading or a psychic reading or a mediumship reading and all the rest of that is legally billed as an entertainment service for a very, very, very good common sense reason. And that reason is that you are the final decision maker in your life. It's not me, it's not any other reader, it's not any religious person at all. It is you. Okay? So yeah, you're the one who takes final responsibility. But you can still use your readings as an opportunity for reflection, contemplation, or just that moment in the day when you can just take yourself away from your concerns and just immerse yourself in the reading, just to feel refreshed and look after yourself. There's all kinds of ways in which you can use these, and a lot of people use their readers as amateur counsellors. Alright, that's essentially what we're about. I look forward to the next bunch of requests. If you want to catch me live, you can check me out on Keen.com or LivePerson, or just surf for me on the internet, and I'm sure you'll find out some cool stuff. And I look forward to speaking to you again very, very soon. Good fortune. God bless.